Are you looking to create a landing page in order to promote your startup or online business? Or are you looking to create a landing page for a client? If that is the case, this video will surely be helpful for you, since we're going to discuss what are the top mistakes that I see in landing pages. And I myself have been a designer for over the past 10 years, working with companies of all sizes, from small startups who needed to raise their first round of funding, all the way to Fortune 500 companies. And having worked and seen so many different landing pages, I noticed some patterns which I want to share with you in this video. And one of the very first mistakes which I noticed is the lack of clarity when it comes to call to actions. So I've seen many landing pages which either have too many or not enough call to actions. And one rule which I always like to abide to is to have call to actions at least on the very top section, so on the above default hero section, in the middle of the landing page, and also a call to action which might be an even bigger section in the footer. And so see it almost like a hamburger. And this basic structure is essentially going to enable you to have enough call to actions for your users. Now, that being said, another thing which is really important when it comes to the call to actions is not to make buttons which blend in too much within the background or within the primary branding color. So as an example, if your main branding color is blue, I would highly recommend you to consider call to actions which are in the complementary range. So for example, yellow, orange, or red, since those are going to stand out more. Now, that being said, I know that there are some exceptions to the rule that are being made sometimes, and I myself make them, especially if it comes to more luxury websites where you want to be a little bit more subtle, but that really depends on the strategy and the communication needs for a given project. Because if you're launching a Facebook ad to a landing page and you're spending tens of thousands of dollars a month to promote a mainly B2C product, having strong call to actions, I notice, can really make a big difference in conversion rates. Now, another common mistake which I noticed, and it's a shame to really talk about it in 2022, it's the lack of mobile optimization on the landing page. So a lot of the times whenever I see founders working on a landing page with a designer, they always really focus on the desktop version, but then for some reason the mobile version is almost never given as much attention as the desktop version. And I'm not saying that you have to completely create a personalized new design for the mobile design, but one thing which is really important is to test your landing page in a mobile device and make sure that that landing page is working perfectly and all the call to actions or bringing them to the source that you want. Now let's go to the next mistake, which is making landing pages which are too cluttered and without a clear focus. And when it comes to the landing page, I always like to reverse engineer what is really important for the potential client to understand in order to really make that conversion. So one exercise which I always like to do with my clients is to list out all of the things that you want to communicate within the landing page, and then create a hierarchy of needs. So almost see it like a pyramid where you are thinking about what is the very most important thing to communicate right away to the client and or to the potential client. What is the second most important thing? What is the third most important thing? So that you can essentially reverse engineer your wireframe based on those needs of communication, so that you can really squeeze the most out of that landing page in terms of optimization. Now, on top of that, another thing which isn't always considered is the page speed. And the reason being is that it's one of those hidden features. It's one of those things which aren't really the core focus whenever you're designing a landing page. But when you're pushing that landing page out into the web, you absolutely have to do a check on the page speed, because if the page speed is going to take more than 3, 4, 5 seconds to load, that's a huge problem, because it can definitely drive conversions down. And I've seen this time and time again, also with A/B testing, which is essentially doing a split test between version A, which is not optimized, and version B, which is optimized. You can really lose a lot of sales just out of this one thing alone. So definitely check the page speed and make sure that the images are lightweight and that everything is as optimized from a speed perspective as possible. And last but not least is the lack of social proof. So one of the most important things to consider whenever you're building a landing page is to add the social proof whenever possible. So if you have past clients, add testimonials. If you have positive reviews from important sites, be sure to add them. If you have any important stats that could really help your potential client to make a buying decision, be sure to add those stats. And I know that in the past, a lot of marketers created these very long landing pages with so many different social proofs. And I had some pushback from clients saying that they don't want to make the landing page too salesy. But in my personal opinion, whatever is really going to help a potential client to evaluate your service or product in order to make that buying decision is definitely going to be useful in the landing page design and just the whole funnel, really. So be sure to keep this in mind and add those social proof elements. So I really hope this video was helpful, and if you're interested in learning more about landing page design or want a one-on-one consultation with me, feel free to book a call in the link in the description. I will do our best in order to see how we can bring your business to the next level.